In October of last year, in one of the most desolate corners of Arizona, a story unfolded that has since become a local legend. An ordinary man named Jack, rushing to work, encountered the inexplicable on a foggy road. The incident sparks debate. Was it reality or the product of a weary imagination? On an early autumn morning, Jack was speeding down a deserted road, heading to his new job. A light fog blanketed the asphalt, creating the illusion that the road was disappearing into the abyss. In the distance, he noticed a solitary figure standing by the roadside, raising a hand. Jack, not usually one to pick up hitchhikers, hesitated at first, but something about this figure intrigued him. Maybe it was a sense of déjà vu or a strange feeling of duty, but he stopped the car. The stranger, dressed in a long, worn-out cloak, quickly got into the front seat. His face was half hidden by the shadow of his hood, and Jack couldn't make out his features. "Thanks," the stranger said quietly, his voice raspy and cold like the autumn wind. Jack felt a slight unease but attributed it to the early hour and his fatigue. The hitchhiker didn't start a conversation, and a heavy silence filled the car, broken only by the sound of tires on the wet asphalt. Jack tried to make small talk, but the stranger responded monosyllabically or ignored his questions altogether, lost in his own thoughts. Moments stretched into what felt like an eternity. Suddenly, Jack accidentally dropped his phone onto the car floor. Bending down to retrieve it, he noticed something strange. The stranger had hooves instead of feet. It was impossible, but Jack saw it with his own eyes. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and his heart started to race. Trying not to show his horror, Jack continued driving, frantically thinking of a plan. He suddenly pretended to notice something in the rearview mirror. "It looks like my taillight isn't working. Can you get out and check?" The stranger silently nodded and slowly exited the car. Jack watched his silhouette dissolve into the fog and then floored the gas pedal. The car lurched forward, leaving the hitchhiker behind. Jack didn't look back, fear and adrenaline driving him. He sped through the fog, barely able to see the road ahead. Every sound seemed ominous. Every turn threatened to become a nightmare. Finally, he reached the nearest town and stopped at a gas station. Getting out of the car, Jack realized his hands were He looked around, expecting to see the stranger's figure, but there was no one. The gas station attendant noticed his condition and approached him. "Are you all right, man?" he asked, looking at Jack's pale face. Jack took a deep breath, trying to calm himself. He didn't know if what he had experienced was real or a figment of his tired imagination. But one thing he knew for sure: he would never stop on a deserted road in the fog again, whether it was an illusion or something supernatural. This incident would forever remain in his memory as a haunting reminder that sometimes it's better to just drive on by.